the actual red line defenders.
I think it's like
People deluded, I'm back again. Happy Friday, folks. As usual, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. Now, we've been linked with Lavia, Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, Musa Diaby today, indirectly, Gundogan. Sure, a lot of Arsenal fans are hoping that a spanner is in the works for Moses Caicedo. Let's see what's being said in the talking points in the newspapers and all those things. Now, Miguel Delaney has apparently said Declan Rice leads Arsenal double midfield transfer plan plus Kai Havertz latest. Mikel Arteta is intent on a summer spree to fill the gaps in the Gunners' centre of the park. And I think I speak for every Arsenal fan when I say we hope that is the case. Arsenal are seeking to make Declan Rice and Lavia their new midfield for next season, with another bid to be put in for the West Ham star and progress being for the Southampton youngster. We've allegedly heard it will cost 50 odd million quid to sign Lavia, which is substantially less than Declan Rice and obviously Caicedo. And obviously, if you're going to spend 60 on 60 on Kai Havertz, 100 odd on Declan Rice, 50 odd versus all the way up to 75, 80, 120 for Caicedo is probably as far as we could stretch. That is without talking about any other areas Mikel Arteta wants to address in the side. And where Declan Rice, well, Lavia, if he signed for Arsenal, assuming he signed for Arsenal, would get a significant increase in wages. Declan Rice is obviously an England international, has played 200 odd times for West Ham, captaining them. You know, we've heard allegedly Kai Havertz is on 200 grand odd a week. They're going to get that. Obviously, Saka, Martinelli, Saliba and Co have signed new deals. You also have to factor in wages to any transfer budget. And that's obviously without speaking about outgoings. As usual, let me know your thoughts on everything we discussed. Smash the like button, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. I mean, Lavia, he's got scope to grow and capacity to grow. He's a wonderful player. You know, you don't play for Anderlecht of Belgium, get signed up by Manchester City, starring for Southampton in the Premier League. Obviously, they've been relegated now. If you aren't good, you know, I mean, that would be a good pill to swallow if we can't get Caicedo. You know, Lavia, I hear it. You know, he's at the start of his career. Obviously, let's just hope that if he does sign, that this Belgian midfielder would fare a lot better than Lokonga. We'll have to see exactly what's being said. Progress has been made. We're yet to hear personal terms have been agreed or a bid has been placed with Southampton. So away from us and a lot of clubs' interest in the individual, we need to probably tread lightly. Let's keep going with this article. Rice's thrust is also seen as well as giving the team something different, and he has long been marked as the major summer signing. Arsenal have already had one offer rejected for the 24-year-old, with the West Ham hierarchy wanting a slightly higher fee over just 2 installments rather than 4. Another bid will go in, though, and there's an expectation a 90 million deal will be done. Arsenal are not that advanced with Lavia, but are seen as his most likely club amid competition from Liverpool, Chelsea, and Manchester United. I'm not too sure why are we his most likely club. You know, maybe the journalists and Arteta and they do know something, but why? Because it doesn't say we've started bids. Hopefully things are going off in the back burner, but why are we seen as his most likely bid? You know, Chelsea may be bringing in other midfield reinforcements. Liverpool might have the Thuram, the Gravenbeck and all them guys on their minds. Manchester United, Mason Mount probably need to address a goalie and a striker. That can't be cheap. So who knows really? And to be fair, if you don't get Lavia this year, you know, and he does stay at Southampton, which I can't see in the Championship, City's buyback clause for him comes into effect. But we're not that advanced and we face competition, so the headline isn't quite as sexy as actually what's been written. Arteta is also still interested in Caicedo, but that deal is seen as more difficult to do because of how the January attempt played out. They said he's not for sale, so you maybe showed your hand not only with the pursuit of Declan Rice, but also with what you bidded in January, really and truly. You know, we did here in January, you know, we wanted Rice and Caicedo. Maybe had the Caicedo deal have gone through, Rice would be the only one we was bringing in terms of a midfielder this summer. But if they're asking for 120 odd 80 to 120 million on Caicedo, and obviously similar figure for Declan Rice, without talking about other areas that need to be addressed, probably our money doesn't stretch that much, really and truly. So who knows, people? And to be fair, Brighton, rightly or wrongly, you know, Declan Rice is significantly more experienced. You know, Caicedo's only played 40 odd times for Brighton. But when you see the fees for Bellingham, when you see what Lavia could go for, when you see what Rice is going for, without putting the players against each other, I think Brighton, or specifically their owner, Tony Bloom, is well within his rights, really. And, you know, what didn't help us is Caicedo, in hindsight, probably signing that new deal, people, and not really having a release clause like you saw with Liverpool getting a deal for McAllister. There could actually be a deal between Stamford Bridge and Arsenal. Better yet, don't know why they couldn't just say Chelsea. Chelsea, sorry, are now willing to outbid their London rivals. There could actually be a deal between Stamford Bridge and Arsenal, though, as Kai Havertz is interested in a move, and Chelsea are willing to sell the German in order to trim their bloated squad. Bayern Munich allegedly are interested, and you hear Kovacic is moving closer to going to Manchester City. Obviously, Arsenal with Havertz, potentially with Manchester United. This obviously allows Chelsea to have some creative accounting and get rid of players. As we already know, Chelsea are prepared to do business with Arsenal to sell Havertz to their London rivals, but are demanding up to 70 million. Arsenal and Chelsea have opened talks over a deal for Havertz. Havertz would be keen on the switch to the Emirates, and Arsenal want Chelsea to lower their asking price, but are willing to match his 250k a week wages. Apparently, Chelsea are in pole position to sign Caicedo. The Blues, or they Blues, are in discussions over personal terms for the 21-year-old, who could leave the Seagulls for a fee in the region of 80 million. Caicedo wants to move to Stamford Bridge. He has a gentleman's agreement with his manager De Zerbi to be allowed to leave should a sizable offer come in. As we know, we had bids rejected, and we seem that Kai Havertz on paper, rightly or wrongly, and definitely Declan Rice are more bigger priorities. Chelsea are willing to swap players for Caicedo, but will not entertain Levi Colwill, who's been called up into the England squad now. And as we already know, Kovacic seems to be moving. Kante is close to going to Saudi Arabia. Allegedly, they have sounded out Everton's Onana and Southampton's Lavia as alternatives should negotiations fall through for Caicedo. In relation to Declan Rice, the Athletic have spoken, and we know he's a transfer target of Arsenal, would be repeating the same things. Apparently, this article has spoken about why he would choose Arsenal. We all know the London aspect, the fact of Arsenal's project is moving along. There's a number of England internationals already there, and it's also spoken about City. Clearly, with the GOAT Pep Guardiola, away from living in Manchester, there's many reasons as to why Declan Rice probably should go over there. I think David Ornstein's done his own little article thing here. He said, West Ham are ready to sell Rice for what could be a British transfer record. And over time, Arsenal have emerged as the favourites to sign him. Personal terms shouldn't be a problem, but the clubs have to agree a price. There you have it. Arsenal had an opening bid rejected. We all know on Wednesday, Arsenal's executive team consisting of a lot of people, but Tim Lewis spoke with Karen Brady to try and get a bid done. Apparently, Richard Garlick is leading the process for Arsenal. So we'll have to see how this goes, people. Manchester City are also interested in him. He's, it says here, Arsenal also want to recruit a more attacking-minded player. They initially targeted Mason Mount, but once it emerged that his preference is to join Man United, the focus shifted to another Chelsea player in Havertz. A first proposal has been submitted amid contact between the clubs and with the German international. Allegedly, Chelsea want to tie Havertz down to a new deal. His current one expires in 2025, or sell for what they could deem an acceptable price. If the 24-year-old does stay, though, there is optimism he'll return to form under new head coach Pochettino. So we'll have to watch that. Caicedo wanted Arsenal move and had agreed personal terms before Chelsea U-turn, according to reports, people. And this article goes as far as saying Brighton are thought to be asking for over 100 million or 100 million for the Ecuador international, people. And apparently we've pulled out of stuff for that. So we're going to have to see, really. It's a bit of pill to swallow. And apparently, where Kai Havertz is concerned, we're willing to go 60 million inclusive of add-ons. So we'll have to see how these things develop, people. Arsenal's immediate transfer priority is to agree a deal to land Declan Rice. Once again, you'll be hard pushed to find someone that isn't saying that. Romano has said talks between Chelsea and Brighton for Caicedo will start next week as the conversation on personal terms is advanced, close to being agreed as revealed yesterday. For sure, Caicedo will leave Brighton this summer. In relation to Saliba, we already know he's going to sign a new deal. And, to be fair, Fabrizio Romano has a very big skill of saying the same old things in creative ways. Documents approved, details fixed. Saliba will sign new long-term deal at Arsenal as expected after final talks revealed last weekend. Understand Saliba will put pen to paper when he returns from holiday. New deal until 2027 with the option until 2028, folks. So, yeah, in relation to Moussa Diaby, Arsenal take pole position in race to sign Newcastle and Manchester United target Diaby as Bayern Leverkusen prepare to cash in on the £65 million rated man this summer. Allegedly, we're in pole position. They want to sell the 23-year-old for 65 million. What does pole position mean, really? But according to reports from the winger's homeland in France, we've moved ahead of Newcastle and Manchester United, people. It even says Newcastle has never been a priority for Diaby. He got 14 goals last last season and 11 assists, but it doesn't say medicals, deals agreed, or etc. People, allegedly Leverkusen are going to have to sell to kind of reinvest. So you've obviously got Mr. Jeremy Frimpong, a fullback, also linked with a move away from the club. People, so we'll have to see exactly what happens in relation to him. Southampton won at least £51.5 million, 60 million euros for Lavia. People, an asking price that Chelsea and Liverpool are unwilling to meet. We'll have to see how far Arsenal are prepared to go. Yesterday, Felix Johnson has said Arsenal side are adamant they'll bid for both Caicedo and Rice. Doesn't mean we'll get some. This was actually 2 days ago. But as revealed earlier today, Chelsea themselves do not believe they'll push for Caicedo after Rice. And as outlined here from Fabrizio, it's a lot of money for Arsenal. He then went and said yes, and that's what Chelsea think too. But on Arsenal's end, they're saying they'll bid for Caicedo. Let's see. I'm very pessimistic, but I hope to be wrong. Apparently, Sky Germany is saying the poker between Arsenal and Havertz has started, but there are no agreements yet. Concrete talks are ongoing. A fast decision is not expected. It's a step-by-step deal, but it's very clear he is keen, or better yet, very open to joining Arsenal as he sees the top development of the club. He's currently away with Germany on international duty. Inter Milan, courtesy of Dharma Chef of Sky Sports, are interested in Balogun and are expected to formally approach. It's thought Balogun wants permanent move away to get regular first-team football with 2 years left on his contract. Final decision will rest with Arsenal, and he's also literally recently made his debut for America against Mexico last night. Gundogan has turned down a long-term contract offer to return to Dortmund and would prioritize a move to Barcelona or Arsenal. Clubs in Saudi Arabia have already made their interest clear to the player. However, there's nothing concrete yet. Kai Havertz has accepted Arsenal's contract proposal, now down to the clubs to agree a fee, allegedly. Con Marble Halls allegedly is saying Arsenal are actively pushing for Gundogan on a free agent this summer, and Arsenal made proposal to his agents, player keeping options open. So that doesn't mean he's entertaining Arsenal, staying at City, going to Saudi Arabia or Barcelona any more or less. Apparently, a second offer for Declan Rice has been submitted. Arsenal delegates have been at London Coley today, putting together the second offer. Unknown whether it will be deemed acceptable. Also on today's agenda was the first proposal for Chelsea forward Kai Havertz, as reported elsewhere. Personal terms already a formality, and the first bid is set to be put around 55 million mark, including add-ons really. So we'll have to see. Leipzig are also interested in Balogun, he has said as well. We've spoken about Kai Havertz. He said on Caicedo, Chelsea advancing on personal terms. Talks with Brighton expected to start next week. Player doesn't see any chance to stay. Arsenal are only focused at this moment on Havertz and Rice, and Bayern are interested, but there is no talks. Arsenal have been linked with young Barcelona midfielder Alex Garrido, but he wants to succeed at Barcelona and is appreciated by Xavi and is under contract until 2025. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I'm not going to read this to you lot, people, but he's announced his move away from Arsenal Football Club. In fact, he's an A-Lem boy. He said, words can't describe how I'm feeling, to be honest. It's been a very emotional journey. Having supported the club growing up and coming through the ranks, I can only be happy with what I've achieved since I've been here. An FA Cup winner, England international. I just wish Arsenal sold you to Everton or Wolves when we had the opportunity for 20 odd million quid. I've seen a lot of players come and go and played with a lot of fantastic players throughout my time here. Unfortunately, it's come to an end, but I'm very happy every single moment I've been here to play and work for this club. Facts. It would have been nice to extend your contract and take out that option of another year and sell you for a cut price, because you're going to go somewhere for free. The trophy wins would probably be the best moments for me. Obviously, some of the domestic seasons weren't so great, but at least I got to win some trophies with the club that I love. The FA Cup final was a fantastic day that will always stick in my mind, and I was happy to be a part of the team that won it. He said, there's been some lifetime relationships that I've built since I've been here. I can only be thankful for the people that have come into my life and helped me since I've been here at the club. I'll always be here to support the team and the boys, and hopefully we can win something in the future. For any supporters out there, just be true to the team. They've come a very, very long way this season, and it's been fantastic to watch. Once a gunner, always a gunner. Big up yourself, man. And he's got a young family, so hopefully he's able to get some stability in his football career, because he's always, when he's at Arsenal, the next 6 months he's going on loan, and obviously he spent time in Italy, he spent time in Southampton, he spent time in Birmingham with West Brom, etc., etc. So hopefully he can settle down some roots and play at a club like that. 13 players have departed Arsenal at the end of their deals, people. George Lewis, Idayu, who we didn't take out the contract. Matt Smith has been allowed to go. Tom Smith has been allowed to go. Zach Away was never going to make the grade here, even though some social media guys said he's the best talent to come out of the club defensively in 20 years. Respectfully to him, he's a good player, but I don't know what they're watching. Nelson's contract runs down, but as you know, we're in talks, people, as it said here. A lot of scholars have left the club as well. Khalil Green, who suffered with a lot of injuries. Alexander Kovacic, who wasn't going to make the grade here, Tino Kwamira and Matthias Roberts, who's been very dirty with injuries, but has a lot of technical ability, but they weren't going to make the grade. And it seems like there'll be a lot of movement, in my opinion, folks, where Arsenal are concerned with the under 21s. Really, it seems like we've got a bit of a bloated squad, as we know. Charlie Patino's expected to depart and things like that as well. Arsenal finalising details on Kai Havertz deal. Bayern Munich are interested in getting in people. Apparently, despite being German, Havertz's preference is to stay in the Premier League. He's open to the Arsenal move, as you can see here. We've called our interest on Caicedo. Partey was linked with a move away. At this point, Balogun's been linked with Juventus. We'll be saying the same things. Elise's been linked with Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain. Cancelo, Arsenal have an interest in. Apparently, we're preparing a bid. We've been linked with Timothy Cassans and Chiesa as well. So let me know your thoughts on everything discussed. Check out the videos I've dropped already. Any emerging news, talking points, etc., you can rest assured that I'll be alert to get videos out for you lot. But on that note, stay safe, stay blessed. People, I'm out.
Because you always use that. I think